disrespect them like that. But yeah, I mean the whole fact of the matter is we I think we can all three of us maybe consider. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for y'all, but I'm gonna just say for myself. I think we can get by for a little while and it'll work because our team, we got a hell of a team right now. And I don't think, without Hutch, we can get by. I do believe that in my heart. I believe we still one of the top three teams in the league and not in the NFC in the league. I said it today. I told a good friend of mine, this is how I feel right now at this point. I think the Packers could beat the Lions. I think Kansas City could beat the Lions. And after that, I I don't know who else can, bro. I mean,
I'm
I
not
that's
sure if
without a
Kansas City can outgrid us though.
without A Hutchinson, I say that. You know what I'm
I don't
saying
think
right
they can
now.
outgrid us.
Yeah, I mean
No,
that's it, bro.
yeah, I get
That's
it,
it.
man. It's
Yo,
I think if you look at the schedule, and I had talked to Lamar about this a little bit earlier. If you
hmm
look at the
hmm
Lions' schedule, there's not this juggernaut gauntlet of quarterbacks we got to deal with either. You talking about Will Levis, you talking about Trevor Lawrence, we got Caleb Williams, who's still a rookie twice. Sam Darnold, well, we're actually yet to see firsthand against our squad what he's all about. But we have a pretty long history of knowing exactly what Sam Darnold is. I'm pretty sure everybody on this panel believes that Sam Darnold is eventually going to come back to what he really is. And I mean, if we honestly think about it, not to get too far off topic, because I will get off topic and forget what the hell I was talking
hmm
about. So if I do, one of y'all remind me. So all three of us can't be up here not being reminded of it. But no, I think that if you look at Darnold, the winning is masking the mistakes too. Like that team is second in the league in turnovers. At least they were second in the league in turnovers heading into Sunday, and he's thrown his share of picks. But the fact that they're undefeated and people see the big time highlights to Justin Jefferson and Naylor and Jordan Addison, you got three guys averaging over 16 yards per catch, which is insane. So they see the big time plays down the field on offense. They don't see the lack of the running game at all because they can't run the football. But if you go to the defensive side of the football, they're excellent at stopping the run and they're excellent against the pass. But defense isn't sexy enough. Even though they're getting takeaways and they're scoring touchdowns on defense, it's
hmm
all about the offense. But if getting back to what I was originally talking about, as far as the gauntlet of quarterbacks we do have to face, we got what Anthony Richardson in a couple weeks too, in a few weeks. There's not a lot of big, bad, tough competition. We got Josh Allen in a few weeks, so we deal with Josh and everything he brings to the table. But the depth that this team worked so hard to get over the offseason, people can't just forget about that. We brag about depth, 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 and then as soon as something goes wrong during the regular season, everybody want to go to the outside the organization to get help. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going outside the organization to get help. My thing is it doesn't have to be elite player for elite player. And typically that doesn't even happen in sports like that, especially not football. We're not going to lose Aiden Hutchinson and then just magically go out there and get a Max Crosby or Miles Garrett unless those guys are made available. So I'm just saying it's tough to do that overall. If you look at the situation now, man, Dan Campbell said in his presser this morning exactly what I thought after the game Sunday, which was it's next man up. We're going to give our guys an opportunity. We're going to give Aaron Glenn an opportunity to make his magic work. This gives him an opportunity to be creative. Coordinators love being creative, getting an opportunity to be more creative. He's got all the tools he needs in the secondary. He's got a bunch of guys defensively along that defensive line that are kind of pretty interchangeable. Lamar, you and I discussed this earlier about defensively, at least in that front seven, what can they do to generate more pass rush ability while they have Hutchinson out? You have to give your guys in the room. Everybody knows this regime is about their own. So you have to give your guys in the room an opportunity to make plays. You went out and drafted them. You signed them. Levi's finally healthy. They're hoping at some point in time to get Broderick back. Reader's healthy. Alim is healthy. He just got paid, which is something we're going to get to in a second. You have the ability to create pass rushes. You can create pressure. It's okay. Like people think getting to the quarterback is all about top 5 talent. No, it's the Baltimore Ravens proved to you last year that outside of and I don't want to butcher his name. I think it's Matabuke. Outside of him, and he wasn't even a household name. He just happened to have a bunch of damn sacks. They led the league in sacks a year ago with nobody as a household name, being honest, because their coordinator, Mike McDonald, was able to drum up scheme wise ways for his guys to get to the quarterback. We need to at least do that, man. Give the guys that we have in the room a chance before we just panic and just run out and just make a move out of desperation and then get robbed. Because these are all businessmen at the end of the day. And if you act out of desperation, you will get robbed out here. So I think, we're going to get deeper into it now. I had to get into my little soliloquy and everything, man, because I'm going to turn it over to you boys. But Ashanti, I know how you feel about this, man. Let everybody else know. We don't necessarily see eye to eye on it, but we do agree on
Mhm.
one thing that we both agree they should make a move.
Yeah, I mean, they did the first, what good organizations do. We just seen the last hour they took care of Lee McNeil. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a guy, like you said, homegrown guy that's been in the system. That we've seen the work that they have groomed him, and he's put the work in. And Alim McNeil is a big time player in my opinion. He's turned himself into that, and they rewarded him. You know what I'm saying? That speaks volumes. To the player, to the organization, to the coach. But they need to get somebody, bro. I that's how I feel about it. I'm not saying like right now we sit October 15th, you know what I'm saying, after 6 games, 6 weeks. But I mean, you fooling yourself, man. If you think that this team is going to be able to make do and go to places, not just be a playoff team. Now we're really not saying, of course, if you want to be a playoff team, of course, just stand pat and just let it play out. You know what I'm saying? But who's to say we won't lose another guy? Remember, this is a long season, and what's Petco? I think Petco. He got hurt too. He out for the season. That was another guy we had on that defensive line that was playing, ahead of Broderick Martin right now.
This guy might be
So
right too.
I just think that our secondary, for me, this what I'm gonna say. This I think the secondary doesn't make it dire straits, because I think our secondary is eons better than it was last year, and I think Minnesota gonna find that out this week, because I think they've been fooled. I think they're looking in the mirror and they think, okay, we got Sam Darnold, we can just throw the ball on these guys, we can just keep doing what we're
Nah,
doing.
we
And I
got a
think
set
that
of corners that we can play man against them now
no,
across the
wait a
board
minute, not
too.
tearing. I had to argue with somebody. I'm glad you said that. I heard for 5 weeks Terry Arnold was no good, and so now all of a sudden Terry Arnold is great now, right? I've been telling people Terry Arnold
I don't
is
know if he's
fine.
great, but
He's fine.
he having his ups and downs. We said he was gonna have though.
He's a young corner. What do y'all expect him to be? Do you expect Terry Arnold to have 4 or 5 interceptions right now, and just see he's done the part to me? I mean, to me, this is why I say, okay, I'm gonna get to my point. I don't think that we have to go out and rush and get and just sign anybody. I agree with that, but I think, man, it's gonna come a time where we're gonna look back and say, if we don't sign anybody, what I'm saying to Trey Hendrickson, Hassan Reddick, Harold Landry. I've been hearing that name. I really like Harold Landry. Just you got to get somebody that's able to put some pressure on the quarterback. You fooling yourself. Y'all know more football than I do. If you
But
think that that's gonna work, that's not gonna work, man. You know what
I
I'm
just want to
saying?
ask
In the
this
long
question
run.
though. I just want to ask this question real quick because I thought this was a very solid talking point, and then I'm gonna kick it to you, Lamar. 313 and fun. What up? Ain't seen you in a minute on here. Even without Hutch, our team is better than last year. We can win the Super Bowl with an elite offense and a good defense. This year, we are the juggernaut. I think there's some truth to that. People can give credit to San Francisco not being as good this year. Maybe they finally took a step back or two. Dallas not being any good, at least not so far. Um, the Seattle Seahawks still being the Seattle Seahawks that we know them to be. And the NFC South is what it is. The Philadelphia Eagles, ton of talent, can't get out of their own damn way. Maybe we are the juggernaut this year. Maybe we are the best team in the NFC right now, and we can withstand losing one guy. I just think that from a numbers perspective, we've lost 3 guys in our front 7 in the first 5 weeks. So just from a numbers game alone, we have to go out there and get a guy or two. They went out and they signed Isaiah Thomas off the either the Bengals or the Browns practice squad. Former edge rusher out of University of Oklahoma. Y'all already know I know who he is, man. I just have to throw it out there. But yeah. Interesting thing about him though is that he started out when he left Oklahoma. I think Isaiah was like 168, not 168. I think he was like 240, 235 as an edge rusher. And they bulked him up a lot, kicked him inside. He still seemed to have some of that initial quickness or whatnot. It's interesting to see if he catches on with us because he had a ton of ability, a lot of talent coming out of Oklahoma. I think he got caught up in a numbers game in Cincinnati and Cleveland and just couldn't really break through. They did draft the guy Miles Murphy a year ago who they had to give a lot of snaps to, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see if he works out for us. Not a lot of fans looked at that and said, "Oh, what the hell is that?" Just because you don't know who a player is doesn't mean they're not a good player or they don't have the potential to become a good player within your system. But Lamar, what do you think of all this, man? Because I know you have some strong feelings about all this as well, as far as Aiden Hutchinson and the
Yeah.
defense, and as far as whether or not fans should be panicking and reaching for the stars for a superstar, or is this team closer to what Dan Campbell said this morning in regards to we basically want a guy who can be a rotational guy that can kick inside and give us some ability and outside.
Well, first, do I sound good? Do I sound good?
Yeah, you sound good,
Yeah.
man. You a sure boy out here
Yeah,
now.
yeah, sure, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
First and foremost, my heart goes out to Aiden Hutchinson, who's having a great year. To replace the 45 pressures, 38.3 pass rush win weight, 95 point pass rush grading, 72 pass rush wins, first in the NFL. He's first in every metric with the exception of he has 45 pressures, but he's is elite at pressuring the quarterback. I feel like you know my heart goes out to him. It was really difficult for me because he's my favorite player, and I think the next closest is Kirby, if not tied with Kirby Joseph. But when we start looking at the meat and potatoes of the situation, dealing with the situation, I think we need really a pass rush committee. I think everybody along that defensive line really has to step up and try to replace Aiden Hutchinson in their own individual roles. And I also think, from a coaching standpoint, if you feel like you have pedestrian talent out there, you got to put talent, you got to put the scheme where they need to be. I feel like, I think Ashanti alluded to it that those coverage sacks matter. Our coverage has been light years ahead of what it was last season, and I think a lot of players can get home a lot better because they have the coverage on the back end. However, I would say the scheme, from a defensive line perspective, needs to change a little bit. You have a couple guys who are very small on the outsides. Uh, you know, you have Houston, who's about 6'1", NFL metrics 6'1".
Mhm.
Um, Agude, another person who we haven't seen anything elite from, but we heard stories about him in pajamas. Um, we also have, Aquu, if I pronounce that
Uk-
right.
Ukwa.
Uku,
Yep. Yeah.
Uku. Uh,
From
you
old
know,
old Mississippi State, I think it
oh,
was.
Mississippi State. So
Yeah.
it, you alluded to it too, that you got to manufacture pressure, and I think the best way to manufacture pressure is to at least spread these guys out. If you're worried about the little guys setting the edge, and if they can't set the edge, if you're worried about that, and it seems to be why we like size, we like that Aiden Hutchinson, Kaminsky 6'7" size on the edge. We would have to play, in my opinion, a wide nine defense. A wide nine defense is something Detroit played before with the in the Cliff April days and the Dominican Sue days. I feel like we have the girth on the inside to actually be at that nine technique with our defensive ends that are a lot smaller and can rush the passer a little bit. You start getting, guys like Lode Holt and just the elite tackles in the game in space, and you start doing whatever you want to them. You could even see the reemergence of James Houston. I think this.
Oh, one thing too, not to cut you off, just to piggyback off that. Also, it helps your linebackers out as far as reading their keys a whole lot better.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
a lot of those formations they're very beneficial to the linebackers as well.
Yeah, I think the wide nine in general, you have to have good linebackers to play the wide nine because they're going to move to like a two gap system, and they're gonna have to mind their own gap. So right now we have a gap and a half system that's worked perfectly the last 2 years, and you can say half the year we went 0-6 or 1-6 or whatever, and then we won all the rest of those games. So we had the 1.5 gap system for about a year and maybe 2 years, maybe 2 years. But if we go to the wide nine system, our linebackers are not pedestrian. Whether it's Malcolm, whether it's whether it's what's the white guy's name? Jesus Christ, Campbell, Williams Campbell.
Bronco Nagurski.
He's the only one. He's the only one that I'd be forgetting his name. And
Jack
I like
Campbell,
yeah,
Alex
Jack Campbell.
Anzalone, Jalen
Yeah.
Reeves, Maben. I think Maben.
Oh
A
no, no,
lot of
not Mason,
guys just
not
have
Mason.
to. They're going to get bigger roles now. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
believe that though.
I think Maben is pedestrian too. I do see him in coverage a lot. I do see them moving out linebackers and stuff. But we got to be mindful. We have 2 or 3 key players that are injured at this point. I would say 2. Some people will even argue 3 with Kaminsky. You're going to get Kaminsky back at some point this season. You don't know when, but maybe at some point. And then you have Barnes is out, and that was a great run stuffing linebacker for you. And you have Aiden Hutchinson, which is the blow. But I feel like this defense is based on three pillars. One pillar being the stellar play of Anzalone, another pillar being Kirby Joseph, who's had 4 or 5 picks in the last 6 games through 6 weeks, and then we have, I would say your next pillar is obviously Aiden, who's no longer with us. So you have the pillars there, and everybody else kind of just plays solid. And then you could even say Brian Branch is a great pillar because he comes down with 2 picks last game. He's over there in the end zone, in palms coverage, playing low, being aware of the high, and he goes high and gets CD Lamb. So you have players on your team. If you want to pack it up this season and say your Super Bowl hopes are gone, then you're not realistic and you're not using all the 11 or all the 53 to your best benefit. If people say they trust Brad Holmes, they need to be able to trust him when he doesn't make a move, and they need to be able to trust him when he does make a move. And the moves that he's made to me have been sufficient. I just feel like getting another individual, when we start looking at the money, when we start looking at the production we have to replace, I think people get upset with the production we have to replace. They feel like if we lost, God forbid, Jared Goff, that we wouldn't get that same production. There's ways to manufacture production. And I feel like the Ravens did it great with Matabuke and Clowney and all those bums from the Baltimore Ravens. And I feel like we have an excellent, defensive play caller in Aaron Glenn who knows how to do this because for a long time we didn't get no pressure.
Man, listen, I'm gonna just say this. We don't have to always reach for the stars. There's big names out there who can still be hired guns for us that still don't completely rob us of our financial flexibility moving forward by giving up a ton of the percentage of the cap space, as well as giving up draft capital. Listen, even Khalil Mack. Mack is scheduled to be a free agent The Chargers can void his contract by the end of the season. It's not going to cost much to get Khalil Mack
And Pico's done
at
for the
all.
season too.
Yeah. And you
Mhm.
got Judon in Atlanta, even though Judon just went to Atlanta. So Atlanta's they're in the middle of a playoff push right now. So they're not moving him at all. But DeMarcus Lawrence in Dallas, like I'm just going through the free agency list right now for
Mhm.
2025. Guys who could potentially be moved by the deadline or could be had in free agency. Khalil Mack is the number one guy right now. Hassan Reddick, of course, that's a hot name around here. DeMarcus Lawrence, Chase Young, Matthew Judon, Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles. These are just edge rushers, though.
Mhm.
And they kind of came out and said that, hey, listen, we want a guy who can do more than just rush the passer. We got Javon Kinlaw, but Kinlaw's kind of been going downhill for the most part since he got up out of Philadelphia. Not Philadelphia, but Pittsburgh for that matter. But I mean, there's cheaper alternatives. It's that fans just always gravitate towards the biggest name. Like I said, we grinded all offseason to get depth. Was the team perfect? No. Did they have depth issues in certain spots? Of course. Every single team does heading into the season. But soon as a guy or two gets hurt, everybody wants to say screw the depth and go outside the organization for something. It's like going shopping for groceries. You just bought $300 worth of groceries, and then you and the wife look at each other and say y'all hungry and y'all go get pizza.
Mhm.
Like when you just worked your behind off to get all these groceries, why are you going out to get that? I'm not saying that they shouldn't go get somebody. They need a couple bodies, I think, in the front seven. I don't think it's just position specific. Oh, it just has to be an edge rusher, or it just has to be a big time power edge rusher, or it just happens to be a defensive tackle. They need somebody else in that front seven that can be a difference maker. That's the key thing. And could it be Alim McNeil? Could he step up? And Lamar, you and I discussed this, man. They need, since there's no longer that horse on the perimeter
Yeah.
of the defensive line doing
Yeah.
all the work, that means the interior of the defensive line has to create that work now.
Yeah.
So now you're asking Alim McNeil, no, bro, you don't have the little the lot not the liberties to just play three technique and get after the quarterback anymore. We need you to fall back now into more of a natural two tech role.
Yeah.
We need you to get back to two gapping now. We
Yeah.
need you to get back to controlling these rush lanes. We need you to be able to get back to getting these linebackers clean and free. When you lose the best defensive player on your team, I don't care if it's a free safety, I don't care if it's a cornerback, I don't care if it's a middle linebacker, an edge rusher, a nose tackle. That is the catalyst of your defense.
Yeah.
So losing Aiden, I'm not trying to just make it look like, oh well, next man up, we won't miss him. We gonna miss him. How the hell would you not miss the guy who's leading the league in pressures, hits, and sacks?
Yeah.
I'm
Your
just saying
best.
we have some talent on here. We can make up for it in ways.
Yeah.
Fans need to just calm down, let things play out. Like I said, we're
Yeah.
not going through a juggernaut of quarterbacks. Even without Aiden Hutchinson, if this team is as good as y'all say it is, they should be able to beat these teams that's still on their schedule.
Yeah.
Period.
Your
Yeah.
best. Check this out. Your best edge rushers in free agency are Kimiko Ture, Austin Bryant, Randy Gregory, Rasheem Green, Shane Ray, Justin Hollins. Not a lot of key
Shane Ray,
pieces. Yeah.
wasn't he in rehab?
He's a
That's the
free agent
same
this year.
Shane Ray, right? The light
For,
skinned Shane Ray.
for the Broncos, I think didn't
Yeah.
he play for the Broncos? Yeah, for a little
Yeah.
while.
Unless this is old, but that's what they're saying.
He
Yeah.
probably still there in the NFL, but they just
I mean, I think of it as this, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I think I'm the biggest supporter of what Brad Holmes has done and what Aaron Glenn has done the last 2 or 3 years, and it shows. I mean, it shows that this team is. I think for me, more so than the offense, it's almost like the defense has made it a point to show everybody that they're better. You know what I'm saying? And they have been. To me, when you look at it coming, 6 weeks into the season right now, I like I said, I really do think that this game against the Vikings they're gonna show that they're different. You know what I'm saying? Because when we just piggyback and think about last year's game when we clinched the division on a field, I mean that game was still kind of up in the air until the fourth quarter. Remember? I mean, until I think Melifonwu got an interception, made a couple
Mhm.
key big plays, and stopped the bleeding. But
Oh,
to
the Vikings.
me, this game is going to be totally different. I think that they're going to get baited into thinking that they can make big plays on us, and I think that's going to be the reason why we win this game this week. What I'm getting at is, yes, of course, Aaron Glenn is hell of a play caller. I love Aaron. Y'all know that. I mean, I like Aaron Glenn. It's going to be a shame because he's turned this defense into something special, and he might leave at the end of this season. Now, I mean, he might. This might be his best chance to be a head coach. You know, we'll talk about that down the road, but I just think, man, big time players make plays, and like Chris Jones won the Super Bowl last year, pretty much for the Chiefs. We gonna need that now. I'm not saying
They
that
ain't want
McNeil's
him
not
either.
that. I'm not saying that Broderick Martin, my guy, I'm waiting on him. I've been sitting patiently waiting on Broderick Martin to make an impact. You know what I'm saying? And he could be a guy. Makai Wingo is another guy that's got some good traits, man. I like what I've seen from Makai Wingo. Josh Pascal, I think one of the listeners mentioned Pascal. All of these guys have can make a collective effort to make this thing better. Like Jack Campbell. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Jack Campbell guy. I think he's a sure tackler. He always in the right spot to me. You know what I'm saying? He just got to just get more reps and know the game more, that type of thing. So, but I think our secondary, like you said, Walt, I think, and Avery too, I think we could do some different things because we can cover now. And I think that that's going to be, um, you know, noticeably, like I think this is gonna be the first test. I think Dan Campbell even said it, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're playing a team that can score some points for real, not fake Arizona or fake anybody else. I mean, Minnesota can score for the most part. So we're gonna be able to see right off the bat how not having Aiden Hutchinson is gonna affect this team. So,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
and it's not a lot of good stuff on Twitter either about you know just picking up a guy in free agency, even though we just signed a guy from the practice squad. Again, I feel like the coaching, especially the defensive line coach, has dealt with less talent than Aiden. He's dealt with less pressure players of that caliber, and he's built up and built a lot of people up to be pressure players of Aiden's caliber in Tennessee. So I want to give the coaching and the scheme a chance to actually show if there is a problem. It is hard to defend, or it's hard to defend that because Aiden Hutchinson did have 100 pressures last season, and it's hard to really defend that and sit here and say that his absence is not going to be concerning. But at the end of the day, I feel like if a move is not made, I figure I have this GM kind of pegged. But you got to see where your horses are in the stable. Houston is in a contract year. There's a lot of money to be made. We can not stop playing politics with Houston and all these other guys. This team is really destined for a Super Bowl. You have A to Z Sports doing film studies on the Lions. You have Thinking Football. These are people with 500,000 subscribers telling their subscribers this is the best team in the NFC. So we have national eyes on us, and we have to show that we can win without key pieces. And unfortunately, that sounds crazy, but it's just weird to me. I think I talked to you about this earlier. Like, we're Detroit, we're go to work Pistons, we're no name, no superstars, no ego, no nothing. But we won't even give our role players and our developmental players chances to play because we want a superstar. The fan base is a little tilted in
Man,
that
listen.
sense.
It's not even a superstar. They only want certain superstars.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. 'Cause like I said, is Chris Jones is the best defensive player in football. I still feel like he is. And since Aaron Donald retired, he's for damn sure the best defensive tackle. They didn't want him because they felt like he was going to cost too much. Oh, he's going to want 27 mil. He's going to want 28, 29. What the hell do you think Crosby wants? And he's accomplished more than Crosby. But he didn't deserve to get paid though. Think about it. We brought up Montez Sweat a year ago. Same round the same time last year. Oh, Sweat's gonna want 20 mil a year. We're not giving that to him. He doesn't deserve it. What did Sweat do? Went out there, led Washington in sacks, led the Bears in sacks when he got over there. And since he got to the Bears, he's one of the top leading sack leaders in the league. But those guys they ain't want to pay them though. But they so gung ho to just give this dude in Vegas whatever the hell they want. We'll do it. 30 mil a year for Crosby, we're okay with it. Whatever the Raiders want, it's worth it. Just give it to them. Bring them here. We had the opportunity to get other dudes who were probably better players than him, and y'all didn't want them. See, that's what bothers me about this fan base is the panicking. When we bring this stuff up in the offseason, y'all don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's just
we're fine the way we are. Why are you talking about Trey Hendrickson? Why are you talking about oh boy, we were just talking about Kansas City. Name just slipped my mind that quick though.
Chris Jones.
But yeah, like why are you talking about Chris Jones? Like why are you talking about Jeffrey Simmons? Why are you talking about Quentin Nelson?
Yeah, Quentin Williams.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson.
Yeah,
Quentin Williams. Why are you talking about these players? Now we lose a couple players. Now it's all about we got to run out and we just got to give up everything for a $30 million a year edge rusher. I've heard people say it doesn't matter. I was watching Woodward Sports, a clip of it earlier. One dude was on the saying it don't matter, whatever they want. Say screw the rest of the team because Neil Rule. I don't agree with Rule a lot, but Rule was like the only one on there making sense.
Yeah. For the first time in his life.
Yeah, you want to mortgage everything. You want to give up 2025 first, 2026 first, a fifth, and a player, or maybe more. Because for one, the Raiders gonna rape you, for lack of a better phrase. They're going to do it, and they have every right to do it because you begging. If I don't want to give you my player, but you just keep blowing my phone up, begging me for him, I'm gonna tax you.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So y'all just want to give up everything for this dude and we'll say, well, we'll just sacrifice Kirby and we'll sacrifice this guy. So you're going to take a 7-month injury and make a 4-year decision out of it. Hutch still won't be playing till next season. So you're going to poke all these extra holes in the boat trying to go get Max Crosby. This is the whole thing. I just want fans to think this out completely and just not be irrational about it and just say, oh, we got to go get the biggest name out there. No, bringing Crosby in, you're bringing him in to basically swap out with Aiden Hutchinson. And if you can't afford to pay everybody else, you just poking more holes in that boat.
Yeah. But their reason. Okay.
No, I was just gonna say. Well, I only thing I can say to that is I think we're in a different spot though as an organization. I mean, we're not like up and coming anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we all said it ourselves. I mean, we're expected to do big things this year, and I mean, it's only natural to say, you know what, we may not be good enough in one area and try to improve it. I don't think it's nothing wrong with that. We don't have we don't have that big three mentality in this city anyway. You know what I'm saying? In any sport. So I don't think that's the case at all. Like we just gonna stock the shelves with all these superstars. I mean, we know that, but I do think it is a time, and we said it best last year. Like when is Brad Holmes ever going to pull the trigger when needed? I mean, I get it. I'm not saying, as I even wrote down the draft picks. Like next year, we don't have a 3rd round pick. I think that's the only pick, and then we got 2 7s. 2026, we got every draft pick that's coming to us. 2027, as of right now, we got every draft pick that's coming to us. So that's 14. I did the math. So there's 14, 21 players in the next 3 drafts as we stand right now. So you mean to tell me that 21 players on our that's has to be drafted in the next 3 years? All 21 of those players are gonna be on this roster? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's where you could really, let's just say, let's play devil's advocate here, because everybody's seeing like they're scared to talk about this Max Crosby thing or just revisit it or something. Nobody's saying that you gotta trade half your team to get them. And it, we see it every year. Like, okay, we got our first round pick next 2025. Let's just say they say, give me your first round pick for the next 2 years and a third in 2026, right? So you mean to tell me you wouldn't give up two first round picks and a third for Max Crosby?
No,
I,
because
I
next year's draft is a defensive draft and a good offensive line draft. You might see 5 defensive ends come out of the first round, and then the player that you
And
end up
three
at
safeties.
32, and 3 safeties, and the player that you get at 32 when you're picking 32, that player is, whether you like it or not, that player is going to be a first round pick on a strong defensive class. That might be the best offensive player, or that might be the best offensive lineman, or that might be the best defensive end, or the fifth best defensive end. So they're mortgaging their future because they see that we have 77 million in cap room next year. They're not mortgaging their future because they don't like the picks. They have, these fans have no knowledge of the players that are coming out next year. They have no knowledge of the defensive ends that have 10 sacks right now. They have no knowledge of that. But all they see is a number in sports track that says we have $77 million and this is our chance. They don't understand that they have a 5 to 6 year window with this team, as young as it is. And this is a
yeah.
younger 49er team. The 49ers have aged out. They have went to 3 Super Bowls and not won one. Every other team is in disarray. Every other team is a joke. Lions fans are looking at this like this is our one shot, the one time we'll be good. This
But
is not a year where this is like your God year where you have to do everything in your power and then leverage yourself later. This is not the year for that. Like,
no,
I,
I disagree. Only reason why I say that, because you got Jared Goff for what, another 3 years. You have to do it in this window, like while you have the
I think
quarterback
you
in
got to still
place.
keep the team good.
his
Because I
4 year
think if Golf
extension
Why?
don't
falls
start
Why?
off,
till
Golf
next
falls
year.
But
off.
let
Golf,
hold, but y'all know this. Okay, what the pick is going to be, what, 28 to 29, 30, or 32. Let's be honest. We've seen Brad Holmes' ability to be able to draft and good, and no matter what draft pick it is.
You still got to have
I don't
something, though.
I don't know what, but
JJ
but if
Watt
you
was
lose,
pick 30.
if you lose one draft pick, one first round pick, so that's going to determine like if we're good next year. I don't agree with that, man.
I
I
just
TJ
just
think,
Watt was
dude.
pick
I
30.
just think that, dude. That bringing
I
Max, bringing him. All right, let's just stop saying Crosby because we ain't getting Crosby. But bringing in a financial Crosby type of player has long-term ramifications for this team, man. I just think that then it sends a bad precedent if you bring this dude in as an outsider and you pay him what you pay him, and then you got guys like Kirby Joseph who you tell he can't get market value. Or other guys, even though Kirby is what 2026, I believe, but they don't have a bunch of guys coming up next year, but 2026 they do.
we've paid everybody that everybody that's worth a damn on this team has got paid. I don't believe that. These guys are grown men. They not like eighth graders where they don't know what the hell is going on. Trust me. They paid Alim today. They just paid him. I mean, how can you guys say that? And they've done everything to keep this team together. I don't. Kirby Joseph is gonna be fine. Jameer Gibbs is gonna be fine. Those guys will get taken care of when that time comes. I believe that. I just
We
for
can't pay everybody though. Like that's just the nature of the beast. Like the
what
more we win, the more they gonna poach players from us.
yeah, but
Everybody ain't gonna take less to stay.
Yeah,
maybe
and I
maybe
think
maybe Jared Goff will. Maybe Penei Sewell restructure his contract. I mean, it's way y'all know it's ways you can do it.
It's ways
It's not.
around it, but you gotta really have everybody involved in that, man. And it's like it's for right now. I think I would feel differently if this team was healthier also. I just feel like in Shanta, you know this, we've been discussed this over the offseason. This team don't need just a wide receiver and one offensive lineman. Next year's draft, they're gonna need to look at tackles, they're gonna need to look at guards, centers. mainly guys who can play center and guards. You know how this team love versatility. So they're going to be looking at centers that can play both guard positions.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that shit, Reader, he'll be up. We could end up needing another defensive tackle. What if you don't? Well, Alim is here now, but there's no
You can
guarantee
get it.
Reader will be back.
You got a second or fourth.
Hutch coming off a broken leg. Like we need more than just one offensive line. But like this team do still have needs. We
But
may
you got
need
a
safety
second.
help.
You got a second, a fourth, and a fifth. Why can't you get it with those picks? You know what I'm
Because
saying?
we still want pretty good talent. We don't want to just be constantly picking, testing Brad Holmes' magic with the second, third, and the fourth. I think they still like top tier players. That's why they wanted those two back-to-back years over what Carolina was offering.
I
For
think
Stafford.
I think I can come up with a happy medium for this. The Lions can still make a move and still retain their first round picks. The happy medium is like a Josh Uche from the Patriots. Josh Uche from the Patriots, they're going to want like a third round pick. We already know that third round pick for Brad Holmes is an experimental pass for an experimental player. That player is usually not nobody. Second of all, if we have next man up and they're not, because I'm reading this comment, if the next man up is not good, he wouldn't be on this roster. He wouldn't be on his team. You need to call Matthew Betts in that case. You need to call Canada, make a call, collect, do *19 and call Canada and say, we need Matthew Betts back. If you get Aziz Ajari from the 2-4 Giants, this is another person that you could squeeze in there because this committee, this girth inside is good. You have a McNeil and you used to have Pico, but now you got Reader now. Yeah, you got DJ Reader. So now you need your Houstons. You need all these guys to step up. In addition, you can make the move for a Jamin Davis, who's just a pass rusher on a team that doesn't use him much. But we got to see where his head's at. Another part of the psychology of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is they get these Brad Holmes guys that everybody knows, like Brad Holmes guy. And they say this during the offseason, and then during the season, they forget it. And we haven't even seen Pascal at the defensive end position. We've seen him not that much, but we haven't had a full season of him. And I think he's played solid. I don't think he's a edge pass rusher, but I do think he's a guy that's a tweener. He's a guy that's, he's going to set the edge. And that's another thing Dan Campbell spoke about today on 97.1 A Ticket is like, we're looking for a guy that can set the edge, that could be inside, outside. That's not just a one-trick pony, just guy that can do this, and this, and what we ask of him. And his mindset has to be the same or similar to the players on this team. When you're trying to like fill the shoes of Aiden Hutchinson with a Max Crosby, I don't think that sends the right message. I don't think that sends the right message to Aiden Hutchinson because you're trying to get a player on his level, and then you got to pay him next year, and it's like we're going to go to the Super Bowl with or without you. I feel like I would feel that as a player, like if I broke my leg and they just went out and got Max Crosby because y'all not getting Max. Y'all shooting for the stars, and this GM has told you. He's told you this. This whole camp has told you that we don't like stars. We're not going with stars. We're going with our guys, and we're paying our guys. And $55 million guaranteed to Alim McNeil. I mean, they're only paying their own talent. They're only paying the Kirby's. They're only paying their Terrions. They're not going to pay nobody else. So we can make a move, but it's going to be a subpar move that everybody's not happy with. It's not going to be a Lions syndicate move.
Listen, I just want to ask y'all this because I brought this dude up and nobody commented on him. He wasn't part of the regime that started over this offseason with the Chargers. He's not a Harbaugh guy. Not to say there's anything wrong with this dude, but he's not who Harbaugh brought in. He would be pretty much essentially a hired gun. Dude still had 14 and a half sacks. Was it last year or the year prior to that? He's still a sack machine. He'll get hot. He's 33 years old. So as a pass rusher, he gets kind of hot and cold. He may get you 6 sacks in one game, but he'll go 4 games without one. He'll get you 4 in the next. I just think a guy like Khalil Mack just makes a ton of sense. And you're not inheriting a bad contract either. That money that he's getting with the Chargers is fully guaranteed. If you traded for Khalil Mack, you have a fresh slate Khalil Mack. You can sign Khalil to a 2-year deal if you want to. Yeah, Khalil, 26 mil maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He's here to be a hired gun, and he's also solid against the run. This dude is 6'4", 255 pounds. You don't just blitz him off the edge. He can blitz up the A gap, the B gap. He's one of the most powerful power rushing edge rushers we've had in the league for a long time. I just don't understand why they don't bring him up as much as they probably should. But there's like fans here have had this crush on Max Crosby for the last 2 or 3 years, man. I just don't get it. Like, if the Raiders have said they're not messing with you, they're not messing with you.
Then they traded people today.
Yes.
Yeah, they said Devontae wouldn't get traded. Remember,
but there was still smoke around him. There's been no smoke around Crosby. All the smoke been created by Lion content creators. If we being honest about it, we've heard no smoke about Crosby wanting out. We've been creating all that.
They heard a podcast 2 years ago that the only team he would play for is the Lions if he wasn't a Raider. That's what they heard. And since then, from 2 years ago or last year, his podcast to me is the only thing I see him on Sundays with. So
Mac is an unrestricted free agent, though. I know Bobby Drake was talking about he don't know if Mac is leaving. Mac is unrestricted, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Mac is a good pick. Mac is a good pick, but I still like Mac is cool. I have no hard. I have no problem. Like I just have to see how they play first. Can I see how they play first?
No, you're right.
Can I see?
I just brought Mac up because Mac is a way cheaper alternative.
Yeah,
Lions fans got to understand that Crosby is not our magic key to the mythical kingdom of championships. Like, there's other good players. There's a lot of good players in this league that can step into our system with what they have around them, and with 2 solid defensive tackles in the middle of that defense, and they can play well. Crosby isn't the only key.
Yeah. I think Jeremy Bullreich is telling me some stuff, and I was like, as I said that
because Khalil Mack is what, 33? Yeah, he's 33.
Oh, man. So this is what Lions fans have been living off. So you said we got a chance, Mac.
That's what they've been living off of. They've been living off that for like 2 years now.
Oh, so basically Max Crosby told them, I like your haircut. And they've been rolling with it. He likes my hair.
Yeah. He's in Vegas. Man, he ain't got nothing to look forward to.
I'm just saying, man, we had smoke around Devontae since last season. The blow up on the sidelines on the Monday night game where they was getting beat up by us, and all the liking all these different posts on social media, and we knew that it was smoke around him, but there's been no smoke around Max. Man, I just think that fans have to, let go of the pipe dreams a little bit. Like, there's a lot more out there than Myles Garrett, who I don't think Cleveland's moving. Cleveland trying to figure out what the hell to do with that quarterback position. I think that they got bigger problems over trading their best defensive player with their best player on the team, period, man. I don't understand why fans, and it ain't just a Lion fan thing, I think it's a sports fan thing, period. We always assume that other teams just want to give us their best players simply because we need them. Like that, it don't work that way, man.
But your boy has a point. Like, Ashanti has a good point. Like, you need to make a move. You just not gonna make the sexiest move. You're not gonna. Yeah. Brad Holmes gonna make a move. He's like bringing in Bruce Irvin was a move.
Yeah, oh man.
He almost killed Derek Carr last year. Oh man, remember that? He almost killed Derek Carr last year.
Oh man, you telling me I'm reaching for the Remy and you trying to pass me the Royal Canadian, huh?
Right.
So he didn't pick the.
I think people
not to compare Bruce to Royal Canadian.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Look, you're gonna have to bring that Royal Canadian back because Alim should be getting 5 sacks this year. You're making $24 million a year now, starting next year. We should be getting that 5 sacks. Come on now, he does a lot of the dirty work. So does Reader, and Pico was in there and in the mix too. But now we don't have to play politics with James Houston. We don't have to say, are you a linebacker, are you a defensive end, and have his career hanging the balance off that decision. Put your hand in the dirt. Do what you need to do. Agude, do what you need to do. Aku, do what you need to do. And we're going to see who rises to the top because this thing going to keep going. These Lions fans don't want this thing to keep going. They want to freak out and have these imaginary trade deals in their head. Not you, Ashanti. I'm not talking about you. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the guys who get on these streams and
yeah.
and buck
Uh-huh.
their eyes
Uh-huh.
at these deals and make content based on the deals every
Yeah.
day. And I can't do it. I can't do it. It's a cesspool of I got an idea. Let's get the best player in the league because we need him. like it's crazy, bro.
Brad Holmes better bring Myles Garrett here today, or I don't
Right.
believe in him anymore.
And
Yeah.
then guess what? Guess
I
what?
just y'all know me. I'm
No,
competitive,
you ain't
man.
nothing. You ain't nothing like that, man.
And I
At all.
want, yeah, I'm just like, dude, I'm competitive. I just want to be able to. I don't want no stone unturned. When we play Jordan Love, I want to pressure him, whether we getting it up the middle, whoever. If it's Harold Landry, if it's Josh Pascal, if it's Kaminsky with the club on his hand, it's somebody.
You know, also
Somebody
more
get to him.
versatility out of the linebackers, coverage wise. Because
Yeah,
we can go to some 4-4 fronts too. Like there's a lot we can do. And then that wide nine. Now if you want Levi and you want Mekhi Wingle to play edge, you want to be defensive ends. Now they can be that in a wide nine. Now you keeping them out of the day. You keeping them off the double teams instead of
and don't
lining
be
them boys up in a 4-3 front and letting them boys get beat up on by guards all day.
And
Yeah.
don't be surprised if the Band-Aid this week, because we're not coming off no bye, or we don't have a bye to scheme things up. Don't be surprised if the Band-Aid is put Jack Campbell at defensive end.
What did I tell you yesterday? I told you. I told what 2 days ago, Avery.
I told you he would be more. I told you he would be more productive in the 3-4, or even in a 4-4, in a lot of 4-4 fronts.
I think
he
Jack
sucks at
ready to
that.
knock somebody's head off, dude. I'm telling y'all. To Jack Campbell, dude.
Jack Campbell
Jack
will go
needs
to
some freedom.
He finishes every play, dude, and that's the recipe for a guy that's like who's locked in. He locked in, bro. You know what I'm saying?
they might just say, hey, look, Jack played that defensive end and he has the girth and he has the size.
Yeah.
We just need to teach him some pass rush moves. So all this week we're working on pass rush for Jack. So that's what they're gonna. And fans are gonna be livid. They're gonna be hot. They're gonna be angry. But guess what? You got to keep moving. The season didn't. You're 4-1. You're the best team in the NFC on tape. So you got to keep moving. Y'all can't keep lollygagging about this trade nonsense. And then the film comes out, and then they want to fire the coach after week 6. We already know what they do when we lose a game. We already know what they do. Adam, they do. I could call them out. We already know what they do. What were sports? 2 bad calls. Fire the coach.
Yeah.
Hey, but Jeremy brought up something interesting. I thought about this the other day too. Jeremy and we agree on a lot of subtle things, man. Trayvon Walker is an interesting idea too, because Trayvon Walker is more so what they want out of their defensive end. Trayvon's huge. He's 6'5", he's 265 pounds. He's an elite run defender. More than anything else. He's not the best pass rusher, although I think he has like 5.5 this season.
Yeah.
Dude has, and I know I talked a lot of shit about him coming into the draft. Trayvon is a big time athlete with a lot of tools, man.
Yeah.
He's the guy that they could potentially hit a home run with. And I think they're going to go out there and they're going to get a young guy that they can develop. I just don't want a damn hurt dude. Don't bring any more lame dogs in here, bro. If you're going to go out there and bring somebody young, big, and athletic for us to grow, bring in somebody that's healthy that can actually help us. Trayvon Walker, like I said, he's close. He's like Davenport, around the same size, elite run defenders. Don't have the most finesse power moves when it comes to rushing the passer, but they pure power rushers.
Yeah.
And he's coachable. I think he's a guy too. Jacksonville, they're looking bad. They gave Trevor that boatload of money. They gave Josh Allen. People that brought up Josh Allen over there. I think Trayvon Walker is a more realistic guy they could get, because Walker, former #1 overall pick, I seriously doubt if they're going to pay him. When it's time to pay him. They got a 5-year extension on him. I doubt if they're going to give him a big-time deal. They gave Josh Allen one because Josh actually deserved it. And Trevor Lawrence got his money, which he didn't deserve. But Jacksonville could find themselves in a situation where the head coach is gone. Now they're looking like, you know what? We just paid Trevor Lawrence this much money. The most we can do is rebuild this whole thing around him from the ground up. So I do think, and I agree with Jeremy 100%. I think Trayvon Walker is a guy people should look at too, because and he could blend in with us. He ain't expected to be the man with us. He got one of the best pure pass rushers on the other end of the line with him next season, coming back from injury. And he can be that typical 6'5", 260-pound edge rusher they typically want. And he can kick inside.
I'm telling you, every idea y'all coming up with is better than a modern day fan. Okay, because they got some Madden prices out there. They've been playing.
Oh,
Madden,
we got a new sub too.
The new sub.
Mr. Morale Tarantino. What up, though? New sub.
What up?
What about
What's going on,
Peyton
man?
Turner?
I
The
like
dude
Peyton
that spit
Turner,
on Deion. The dude that spit on the
I like
receiver. I know Brad Holmes said he liked dirt bags. I don't know if he liked that dirt bag. You spit on the unconscious guy. Get over here.
Man.
Yeah, he's different too.
Josh Sweat is interesting. Now, while you mentioned him, he real interesting. I didn't even think about him. I mean, good work by you be even mentioning him. But I'm just looking up some guys, man. And Josh Sweat, he's interesting. Maybe disgruntled. Maybe he need to get out of that situation. Who knows? That's something to look into as well. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Chase Young. I don't want nothing to do with Chase Young. I don't know.
Nope.
And they wanted him last season. They wanted these fans wanted.
They wanted him over Montez Sweat, and Montez Sweat had production.
Yeah. I'm out on him.
He was above in the Super Bowl.
Look. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all. What about Baron Browning from the Broncos? Is he
kind of not an edge rusher though? He's a linebacker.
Yeah, but he played a lot of the 4-3. Yeah, I thought that he was a guy off the edge. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know what?
Okay.
I think a lot of what we discussing right now is going to be predicated off of what we see Sunday against Minnesota. How they come out, do they change anything up scheme wise? Because they could easily say, you know what, our best edge rusher, our best defensive player is out. We about to play more 3-4. Because they got the players to do it versatility wise. We're gonna play more 3-4. We're gonna play a lot of 4-4. 4-4 fronts, that is, and we're gonna get more linebackers out. Now they could go out there and get them a big time athletic linebacker.
Yeah, the linebacker.
Yeah, like a freak athlete.
Because now you got to ask the question: where do your best players lie? Are they in the linebacking core, or are they on the defensive line? We can argue that. Well, especially with Barnes being there and Hutchinson not being there, our best unit would be the linebacking core. But you have to take which core is better right now and make that core even stronger. They got to do something. I just don't think they have to go out there and reach for nobody, but they definitely need to do something.
I like Devin White. I like
Devin White.
Damian Wilson, Andre Smith. See, and you see how they got to play. You see how you said they got to play first. That's what I said in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like we got to.
Fans don't even want to see them play yet, though.
No, they don't want to see no. They don't want to see no Houston. They don't want to see. Look, we can't play politics no more with Houston and Betts and all these guys and tell them you got to be a linebacker when they true defensive ends no more. We're trying to win. We got to keep the ship moving because a lot of these like fans as well as these coaches on this team. To me, they were sabotaging James Houston for real. They were sabotaging this dude. Now, and then I seen him play linebacker again. I thought we were done with this stuff. There was a whole article that he was done playing it. Then he's playing linebacker against the Seahawks, and he was the worst graded PFF player. And then we talking about Agude and all these other guys. Everybody in that locker room first needs to step out on this field in Minnesota. And if Minnesota is the best team in the league, they don't have to prove it. Because on tape they're not, in stats they're not. They just got the most wins in the win column.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing,
Avery. Yep.
The first thing we're gonna have to do is see how Agude plays, or Houston plays, or all these people play, like you say, because at the end of the day, this is a scheme up job. You got to scheme this up. Y'all not a patchwork team. Y'all not a bad team. Y'all so eager on these crazy deals, like we in the Stafford era. We're not in the Stafford era. I'm here to give you, look, this group here, these three guys, we're here to give you thought-provoking content that's actually thought-provoking and actually going to facilitate your mind. We're not going to put up Trey for Hassan Reddick and give him 6 first-round picks. That's insane. That's like, I'm not here to be fluff comedy for you guys. This is like y'all been talking. Aiden Hutchinson ain't even get on the cart, okay? And y'all was making trade videos. Aiden Hutchinson ain't get to the hospital. Y'all was making trade videos.
Hey man, it's a competitive market. It's a competitive market, baby. You gotta beat you to that live logo.
Yeah,
Gotta beat you to it.
But you know what, man? I agree. Yeah, I never thought of like you saying maybe a scheme change. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think of that at all, Avery. That was brilliant
Well, I mean,
because
Brad brought that up this morning too. Like he had
yeah,
the same ideas about this. We thought like,
because think about it.
yeah,
Just think about what we have, right? Think about it. It's something to what Avery said because I'm a Trey Wingo. I mean Trey Wingo. Trey Wingo's from
I think
ESPN.
Trey Wingo cool too though. I ain't got no
Yeah,
problem with Trey
Wingo.
Wingo, man.
Makai Wingo has done some good things, man, on that defensive line. You know, obviously Reader, like you said, McNeil, we know them some dogs right there. The linebacker play's been stellar. You know, obviously, unfortunately, Barnes went out, but Rodriguez has been more than serviceable so far with Jack Campbell. You know, but the secondary is what I've really been blown away by. I'm just telling y'all, I just think that that's it may not seem like a strength right now because if people say whatever, the guys are still young or whatever, but I think that's a strength. And Rakestraw is now not even playing that type of thing. He's been
We
hurt.
played Sunday.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For the first time. I mean, Branch is like all world, bro. Him and Joseph is like them two guys right there is like damn near the best tandem in the league, top five, that type of thing. You know, um, I just think that we got something, man. We get with this team got something, and I just want to push us over the top. That's all I'm thinking. I'm just like, man, I see what we have, and like Avery say, I want to keep this thing going, man, because you could tell clearly the Lions got the best team in NFC, man. Until the Packers show me otherwise. Until the Vikings, I'm not even worried about the Vikings, bro. I think that we're a better team than Minnesota. I just think we just gonna show everybody Monday. I mean Monday. Sunday we're gonna show everybody that we're.
I heard a Vikings
I was
fan
just gonna
say.
say.
No,
Yeah.
my bad.
No, I was just gonna say. Avery, that I think we're gonna show that we're the better team. I think that we as a team, as an organization, as a team that's finally earned the respect of man. We got like pundits we see every week on these shows. They're even good. They can't deny us now, bro. I mean, it's not like at first it was like, yeah, they cute. Like what was his Dominic Foxworthy? He got his own podcast, and he's like, I I still don't kind of believe in the Lions, but they're gonna play. They're gonna force you to play, blah blah blah, that type of thing. So I even think the adamant followers that like kind of never believed in the Lions now they have no choice now, bro, to say, listen, these guys can play, man. I mean, it's like it
Man,
took
if
a
we still
while.
gotta persuade people, it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
Just
we got
watch the game. Like it's
I heard a Vikings fan say we haven't beat nobody with a winning record. When the Seattle Seahawks, they were 3-0. They were big bad Seattle Seahawks. There was this, that, and the third, and we broke the brakes off them so bad they lost 3 straight. And I heard another. Right. I heard a Vikings fan talk like the Lions aren't for real because they haven't beat nobody of significance. Dallas is in turmoil. Seattle's a fraud. LA is injured. I'm like, bro, like we just gonna play out these games and win the NFC. That's all we gotta do. That's all we never gonna get.
You can
credit.
only beat you can, but it's like in boxing though. It's like the fighter is the big bad tough bad wolf. When you get in the ring with him, you beat him. Then after you beat him, he was nobody.
Right. He ain't work out like he was supposed to. Pacquiao was coming off Pacquiao. He was coming off a year of not boxing. The man, stop.
Y'all know Chris Long, Howie Long's son has got a podcast. I don't know the name of. Forgive me, I don't know the name of it on top of my head. But anyway, he said Green Light, and he said Detroit Lions is real, bro. He was like everybody that they've played,
the last 16 games. He goes, you go back. He named all the games this year. He goes, everybody gets the Detroit Lions hangover. He said, when the Lions play you, bro, they take something out of you. He said it happened with the Rams. They immediately lost a couple games in a row. It happened to Arizona. They immediately got blown out 2 games in a row. Seattle, as Avery mentioned, they were 3-0. Now they haven't won a game since. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what he's saying is like when you play the Lions, they just beat the hell out of you, man, and just like send you off in oblivion on your way, bro.
But that's
We coming out
football people get it though.
Yeah.
You ever notice the people on TV that give us the major love is the former players and coaches. All the coaches, all the former coaches love us. It's mainly these people who didn't play football or whatever. A lot of the writers, the people who are there for color commentary or whatever. Those are the people who just, I don't believe, I still don't know, I don't know. Football people, and then people with football common sense know what the recipe is to be successful in the NFL.
Yeah, because
especially year after year.
Bart Scott told this guy, I don't know who this fat guy was. I did a live stream on Saturday.
You talking about the former GM? I know you. We ain't gonna bring his name. But you talking about my man, the silly dude, the former GM. I know you're talking about.
He was like, Bart Scott looked at him. He was like, I think Dallas is gonna win this game and put this team away. And he was like, I don't know what Bart Scott said. Looked at him. I don't know what the hell you talking about. The Lions don't win this game.
Right.
47-9.
Dude, and it's like and it was rolling so good, just what Avery said, it was like a gut punch because you seen how this team was rolling. The defense. Remember last year? Yeah, remember last year where we never, it seemed like we couldn't, we either had the offense for one game and we didn't have the defense, or we had the defense and then the offense didn't come to the party. Now this year, this thing's come full circle, man. And I think that, now we got a team, bro, you know what I'm saying, that can actually go out and dictate play. We could control the game.
We the tough guys.
Exactly.
9
playing bully ball out there.
9 scores.
Yeah.
It's 9 possessions, 9 scores. This is what New Orleans, the kings of the South, were doing down south for the first 2 weeks, and everybody wanted to crown New Orleans. Like, this is the real deal, Holyfield. We're in the middle of the season. Ashanti is right. This is a real team. Like, he's seeing people give us credit that are major people. Damian Woody is giving us credit. Like, this is you can't even do content as a Lions sports creator because you got a guy with 1 million subscribers doing content on Lions because he knows they're the real deal. Like, bro, like it's not hard to tell, bro. It's not hard to tell. Like Biggie said, it's not hard to tell, bro. It's not. This is the easiest, bro. And I'm telling you, there's only one team that can beat us, and we're gonna see them in the Super Bowl. Now, as far as the injury goes, this is some pressure we have to manufacture. And that's why we brought in the defensive coach that y'all made videos about. Not y'all. You know who I'm talking to. Y'all made videos about the defensive line coach and how he was epic. Well, this is his chance to prove how epic he is. This is Aaron Glenn's chance to prove that he didn't need Aiden Hutchinson to create this pressure. No disrespect to Aiden or Glenn, but I'm just saying, like, are you really weak, or are you a monumental coach? This is what I need from Aaron Glenn. This is going to prove him right or wrong.
Yeah.
I think what helps out Terrell Williams also, because I mean, he doesn't have Jeffrey Simmons is a tremendous player though in Tennessee. DJ Reader is the same type of defensive tackle / 3-4 DN versatile player. Don't get me wrong, Jeffrey Simmons is the better all around player, but at least here in Detroit, he has a bona fide nose. And most defensive line coaches will tell you, before you give me the edge rusher, the pass rusher, I need a dude in the middle of my defensive line that can protect my line. That's what you have to have. Everybody thinks about edge. If you soften the middle of the defensive line, you don't have shit. That's plain and simple. And like I said, majority of defensive coordinators, the coaches will tell you, and defensive line coaches will tell you, I need to have a big dude in the middle of my defensive line that can demand double teams. That can In other words, make sure my defensive line breathes. Because if you have a defensive tackle that can't two gap or a defensive tackle that can't demand a double team, then what the hell is he? just being honest about it. He has DJ Reader, and I think DJ Reader right now is the biggest key to that front seven. He's the veteran. He's the nose. He's the one. He's the two. And everybody else, I believe, is going to eat off of him because the talent just isn't there. Don't get me wrong. There's a significant drop off in talent from Aiden Hutchinson to whatever else we're going to try it out there. Big significant difference. But if you have Reader and Alim McNeil's health, to me, and I'm saying that right now, is the key to this defense the rest of the season. Because if they lose either one of them dudes, now we're talking about even bigger issues because now we soft in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody mentioned Bruce Irvin. Can we bring Bruce Irvin back?
Oh man. What did we call? No, let me not put that on y'all. I called him something. What did I call Bruce?
Where Randy Gregory at? Where he at?
Come on, man. We might as well get what's my name? Alden Smith. He got some dirt bag in him.
Yeah, I want some angry dude that's been blackballed out of the league for the last couple of years that lost his spot to defensive end from Coastal Carolina or something like that. I want somebody that's angry, man.
Brad Holmes seemed like that type of guy to call you up like, I want you to have your career back. You worked for us for a good 6 months.
You're working for us now.
You want to get back in the game?
Open your front door. There's a package on your porch. He done sent the jersey over to him.
Montez's birthday. That's a good one, Jeremy.
We need some dirt. We need some dirt bag.
You do everything we say. You're going to get paid next year.
Yeah, Sue too, yo. That's a good call, Corey. That's a good one too. Perfect and Sue. That's the answer to our problems right there. Both them guys. They crazy. Him and Perfect, man.
We need to get Antonio Brown if that's the case, boy. We'll really light the scoreboard up.
Yo, he want to play with no
and he'll
helmet
be happy
on.
over here. He'll get the ball over here.
Right. And this a PSA. Whoever come on that defense, matter of fact, the whole team, the whole starting. I need eye black on that right side. I need eye black the whole way. The whole way to the Super Bowl, I need eye black. I need my boy.
Black, you got to wear white sleeves. So we think
Michael Bennett. Exactly. I like Michael Bennett too.
Exactly. I need that one eye black. I need that one eye black all the way to the Super Bowl. I need Hutch to be at the Super Bowl in crutches like it's Friday Night Lights.
Sidelines.
Like he Booby Miles. I need him to be on the sideline. The spirit of the team.
James
the
Harrison.
Spirit of Detroit. Yeah.
Hey, who was that? Justin Tuck. I mean, whoever wore the whoever wore that board in the back. You know, we need somebody to wear that board in the back of you know how they had that so they head don't snap back that board. We need to get anybody that had one of them boards in the back of their head. Just one of them back of their jersey. But yeah, man. You know what? There's something here, man, because this game's gonna be tough. I can't wait for this week because this is really gonna like pull the rug out from underneath like those people like Avery was saying, and you know, because Minnesota got everybody fooled. And like you said, well, I always like that saying that you said, like the line, you start believing your own press that you get and you start believing that. And I think that's what's going on in Minnesota, man. I really do. I think that they think that they got this hella offense that they can just roll out there on anybody and do whatever they want. And that's going to be their downfall against it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they think we real enough in the back end yet. So it's going to be interesting. But like you said too, and Avery said it, you know, you do have to let it play out on the field to an extent. And that's what I was saying. The only thing I did say, if I had to play devil's advocate a little bit, you know, what if, let's just say, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's just put it out there. Let's just say we go out there and we lose a couple. Let's say we lose a couple in a row, right? I think now everybody really going to be amped up and revved up to make a move. You know what I'm saying? I think winning cures a lot. And if they win,
then obviously if it ain't broke, don't fix it, that type of thing. But if we lose a couple, then I think the situation really gonna be, in the media, it's gonna be a firestorm, man. Make a move, make a move, make a move, make a move. But in actuality, they staying pat. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and kind of letting this thing play out. I
The
don't think
Giants,
that's gonna happen, but you know.
look, the Giants is like, I think the Giants is 1-4 or 2-3, they're losing. The Giants got two perennial pass rushers and everything, and they mortgage their future and da 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 da. They mortgage their money, and they not winning. And you could say it's a quarterback issue. You could say it's Daniel Jones because he's not elite at anything. He's not elite at pocket manipulation. He's not elite at throwing a deep pass. He's not elite at anything. He's matter of fact just a person. He's a person playing
Call
football.
this man a person. He's still an NFL quarterback.
It's 2024. I couldn't just call him a man. I just said he was.
Call that man a silhouette.
Entity.
Boy.
He's an entity.
He's an entity on the field, and they still losing. Y'all want to trade the house for everybody? Still losing, man. I mean, man, oh boy, man. You know what the Lions need right now? I hate to be funny, but I got to be funny about this. They need Muhammad Ali. They need somebody come out in the game. They need somebody sting like a butterfly, flow like a bee. They need somebody.
No, they need Aiden Hutchinson to pull a Walt Frazier. He gonna come out from the back of the wheelchair and then get up. Psych.
Right.
I'm playing. Put me in, coach.
They need to put a cybernetic leg on Aiden Hutchinson and sign a rookie named Caden Mutchinson, and he got a cybernetic leg.
Go get Kyle Vanden Bosch. They put 87 on him.
Kyle Vanden Bosch, yeah. I forgot about him. Yeah, him. That was the Tulloch squad, right? It was Vanden Bosch, Tulloch, Cliff Averill.
Yeah.
So
and that team had the wide nine. So those guys, I think Jeremy said it, those guys could miss time with Ansa, with Fairley. They could miss time. They had Sue. They had their anchors in the middle, and those ends missed time. You had Cliff Averill. You had guys step up, and they had that wide nine system that was going to generate pressure and crash the pocket. And, we have the coverage ability to create coverage sacks. And I think we just, like we say, like we're the most moderate people on here. We'll give it up for Lions Avenue because they're the most moderate people on here. Everybody talking about trades. I can't even make a video without talking about a trade. I got to talk about a trade for Michael Jackson.
Listen, everybody can't talk about the stuff that we talk about content wise on our page. Jeremy does.
Yeah,
I know Mark Orm does.
Yeah,
a few people do because
Jeremy a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, if all content creator, but as far as content creator wise is shock value posts, shock value videos. Hey, trade for this name, that name. We need that guy. That's it. We've sat here for over an hour and 18 minutes trying to teach everybody and just held a discussion with everybody listening about how we internally make our team better.
Yeah.
Well, what we already have on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Because we actually have some knowledge. And we're not just here to tell you to go shop for big name players. We actually trying to get the team better.
But that's what kills me. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Dan Campbell said it today. He did. He was. I like Campbell because he's honest. You know what he said? He was like, listen. He was like, basically, that's why we play training camp. That's why training camp starts. That's what we play preseason because Ukwa, Agude. It was the center. Houston, but what's the center too? Igubane or whatever his name is, a center.
Kingsley.
Kingsley, yeah. These guys, show some promise in it during the workouts and preseason and all that. Like last year, like look at Awasika. He was starting in the championship game against the 49ers last year, and they had enough confidence in him to start that young man, and he played admirably well. No one knows who Coyote Awasika is, but you know what? He's been coached up by this team, by the staff. They believe in him. They put him in the spot enough to trust him. Kobe Sorstal last year played offensive line, and that's just a testament to who he's got in
running his team. Aaron Glenn, we all clearly believe in what he's doing. So now he's got something to play. He came with the cover was bare when he came here. You know what I'm saying? I use
Man,
that
boy.
term cover was bare, but they ain't have
Mhm.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
he's got 6, 7 guys where he could really, do something good. And like Avery say, this is the time, man. This
Yeah.
is the time right now to show. And that's why I referenced the fact this may be his last year, because if he can do it without Aiden Hutchinson, man, he's gonna look awfully good as a coaching
Right.
prospect. Moving forward, man. You
Right.
know what I'm
And,
saying?
yeah. He gonna be the best coach. He's not gonna be a minority coach. He's just gonna be the best coach because he did it
Just
Exactly.
don't
without.
take the Jets
Mhm.
job.
Don't. Oh
Exactly.
no, I wouldn't take that. No, I'm not. If he took the Jets job, he would be Aaron Rodgers B word. He know that. You know that. You don't sign up for that. I tried to call Salah myself and say, don't do that.
He too strong of a
Wallah,
personality for Aaron too, man.
Habibi, don't
They
do that.
Yeah.
Habibi.
Yeah, they'll bump heads too much. But I do
Yeah.
want to ask y'all, man, outside of the big names, out of the smaller names that we mentioned, I did mention Khalil Mack as one guy that I
Mhm.
thought people should consider. And then Trayvon Walker. I think Trayvon Walker, for me, and like I said, I do understand he hasn't done a lot in Jacksonville. He's done more. He's gotten steadily better every year. Now, Aiden, who was drafted number 2 overall, has surpassed that boy. That on field. That's what it is. But Trayvon is still a good player, man. Young player, still a baby, still out here growing. I think he's a guy that this team would love because Trayvon, of course, he can rest. You can stand Trayvon up at linebacker. Trayvon can put his hand in the dirt. You can kick Trayvon inside from time to time, and at some 3 tech. You can line him up directly over the tackle at 4. He is the epitome of what Dan Campbell kind of said they wanted this morning, and he's still young as hell, and he's still on his rookie deal, and he also has a 5th-year option. And he's also a guy who hasn't done enough in Jacksonville, quite enough to the level of being the number 1 overall pick. And considering that they paid Josh Allen the amount of money they paid Josh Allen this past offseason, I think if Jacksonville is going to move anybody, it will probably be Trayvon Walker, so they can start, recouping some draft picks. And it won't cost you shit. Just to put it point blank like that. Trayvon won't cost you much at all. You can probably get Trayvon for a third, if that. Right now, you're not giving up a first for Trayvon Walker. You're not giving Jacksonville a second. You're talking about a third or a fourth. Maybe a fifth, depending on how they really view him and what they think this offseason, futuristic wise, is going to look for them. But for me, Trayvon Walker, I think makes the most sense because I don't want an injured guy. If they're going to trade for somebody, I want them to bring a young pair of legs over here that maybe like Isaiah Thomas, a guy who hasn't had the opportunity to really flourish in past spots he was in. And now he gets a breath of fresh air or here over here with us. And Terrell Williams gets the opportunity to work with that dude because he's a ball of clay. And I think Trayvon Walker would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you on that. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, I'm just scouring every team and just seeing, man. I just see some guys that hasn't. It's been little production, It's been boomer bust, like a Calais Campbell. He's a guy, veteran guy. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. Deshaun Hand's interesting, former Lion. He was drafted. He's seemed like he just can't get it together either, man. Another guy. What about David Long Jr.? I think he might have some ties to Terrell Williams. I think
Yeah, for
the defense.
Tennessee.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
Tennessee.
linebacker, though, middle
He's
linebacker.
yeah, he's with Miami right now. But I'm just looking at teams that's not doing good right now, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks they might be, selling off some players off their roster. Josh Uche was a good choice too by Avery. That was a good. Keon White, that's another guy. Keon White, remember he was a guy from, I think he's from
Georgia
Georgia
Tech.
Tech. Yep, and
Yeah.
was in Atlanta. Didn't really do much. He's in with the Patriots now. I mean, I don't know how they feel about him right now. He does have 4 sacks though this season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 sacks. So no, they probably ain't getting rid of him. 6'5", 285, big strong guy. Raekwon McMillan, that's another guy. Remember him from Ohio State, played with Miami. He's
Man,
with the
that boy
Patriots.
long in the tooth.
Yep, he's with the Patriots now. Jonathan Jones. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still believe that players do become available, and like I said, I think some of the season has to play out a little bit more for more names than we had. Like you said, we see the obvious names, the Reddicks and the Crosby that we laugh at and stuff like that. It's gonna have to the season's gonna have to play out. More teams once they're out of it, like Jacksonville on life support right now for their season. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland's on life support for their season right now. We could just see the way it's going for these teams, and I do think everybody's in this quarterback class that's coming out in the draft. Everybody gets crazy for draft capital. To get a Shador Sanders, to get
Quinn
Quinn Ewer,
Ewers.
yup, whoever you like. Correct, yeah. So
Mhm.
it'll get fat and more furious as the season goes on. As talk.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see, man.
Yeah.
It's good to just know that we can beat the brakes off anybody. I think out of all the things we sitting here talking about, a
Mhm.
Lion can still beat the brakes off a good majority of the league without Hutch. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
but
saying?
that's the whole point I
You
was
know,
making initially from the beginning. Like, even without Hutchinson, I think we still beat the Bears. Whether we beat the Bears twice or not, I still think we beat the Bears. I think we at least split with Minnesota. We're gonna probably split with Green Bay. Now, it would shock me if we swept any of them. Even though I think we're substantially a better team than the Bears right now, it's still a divisional game. Caleb Williams has gotten better with every passing week. So
yeah, looking
you never
good,
really
man.
know.
Yeah.
But I just think that even without Aiden Hutchinson, we're still a better team. You said 3 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago, that we should be favored pretty much in every game this season.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the schedule, it was like, okay, he ain't lying. If we being honest about it, I mean, we favored against everybody, even though we have to go to Houston and play at Houston. I think we'll still be favored over Houston, unless things fall off the next 3 weeks
Well,
and we go on a
Minnesota's the
losing
favorite.
streak. Yeah.
Minnesota is favored though, Walt, this week. I think they 2-point favorites. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's basically a pick 'em. It is basically a pick 'em game this week. But because of the Hutch, I think if Hutch was playing, it probably would be two the other way, are coming our way. But yeah, I mean, man,
Yeah.
to have Minnesota, Tennessee, Green Bay, right? I think that's our next three games. So
Yeah.
What if
you know,
Levis carve us up?
yeah. Oh man.
Levis
So
then got right against us, man.
Mhm.
yeah.
We
So I
used to be
mean,
that get right gang. We used to be that.
yeah, yup. That's what I was just gonna say.
Levis
Like,
throws for 5 touchdowns on us.
yeah. So I mean, if we had to just put a bow on this show tonight, I mean, obviously, you know, the reason why we're here, the reason why we kind of did this content tonight is, to discuss, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm glad you put it there. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is, like Avery said, it's gonna be hard to replace him. I mean, obviously, everybody's their own. uh I like the word entity. Everybody's their own entity. You know what I'm saying? And Aiden Hutchinson is a guy that's you're not gonna get another Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, it's impossible. But
Mhm.
you can, and we've seen with this team, they will be able to make up for the loss, man. It's a collective effort from from the D line. I like how Avery put it when he said this team has levels. Pillars, from the D line to the linebacking core to the defensive backs are key to make up for Aiden Hudson. You may not get 3 sacks coming from Aiden Hudson's way, but you could get maybe 5 extra pressures from DJ Reader up the middle. You could get maybe a covered sack, or you can get a catch Jack Campbell on a blitz, or Brian Branch, or you get an extra guy with an extra sack somewhere that probably wouldn't get one. You know what I'm saying? You can do some
Mhm.
different things, and I trust Aaron Glenn. I do,
Mhm.
guys. I think that he's more than capable of scheming up. Surely he can do it with uh six six good defensive players as opposed to zero. You know what I'm saying? He can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got division play coming up. We know, I listen, our bread and butter is to keep the defense off the field longer, run the football like we've been doing, and we can do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the greatest equalizer a team could have, is to lean on that run game, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's all I have tonight. If you guys want to take it away, you know what I mean? But coming
No,
days
I just
gonna be
think it's gonna be
interesting.
interesting. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
very interesting. Of course, we're gonna have Spirit of Detroit back, man, because it's a very scheme friendly game to evaluate because you're talking about, and I believe Ben Johnson OC versus, well, actually it's going to be Dan Campbell head coach, Ben Johnson combination OC versus Kevin O'Connell head coach, defensive coordinator Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
One of right now looking like one of the best defensive coordinators in football, going up against one of the best offensive coordinators, the immovable object. The Minnesota Vikings are number 2 in the league in run defense. We lead in the league in rushing.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: everybody that knows us knows we seem to be, ever since that Tampa Bay game, we've been way more true to ourselves. This team ain't gonna abandon the run. That's why I said this game is going to be a helmet cracking game because Minnesota is number 2 in the league, stopping the run, and we come to run the football. So, like I said, Spirit, you can be back with us, man. And I need to get on your show, man. I promise I'll be good this time, man. You gonna let me back on, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
I promise I'll be good this time.
Then next week we're gonna have, the week after that we're gonna have Trump on, and then we're gonna have Kamala on. And they're gonna talk
man, dog.
Then we're gonna have going into the election. So I'll book you for this week, but we got a big week next the week after next.
Trump and Kamala. So Trump and Kamala. What do you think about our defensive tackle situation?
This is the biggest issue in America right now. Okay?
This man's never watched a Lion game in his life. Well, I think Robert Porsche should get more opportunities.
I think
the
Chris Spielman was the best.
They're gonna be big.
Hey, man, that Barry Sanders was extraordinary last Sunday.
Chris Spielman was the best player.
Well, the Lions are actually animals in the wild.
No. We're talking about Detroit Lions, not Zoo Lions.
And I believe that the Lions, like she gonna do all that.
I too enjoy lions.
I too enjoy lions.
You know it's tough out here in these streets, Avery. You know it's tough out here in these streets.
Man, we got to get into Minnesota in a couple days, bro. We'll set it up. We'll be back. Love doing this content with you, man. Give your channel a shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
You can find me at Spirit of Detroit Podcast on YouTube as well as Facebook. Detroit Lions fan page. I stream to there as well. These guys have always, shouted me out and always, kind of spoke me up in a high regard. I consider them friends, definitely friends of my channel. So definitely comment, like, subscribe, and we're gonna get into more videos. I just feel like this is not going to be something we talk about 7 weeks from now. But it was fun talking to these guys, knowledgeable, intelligent individuals that know the game and know what they're talking about. So, that's always fun. We're always down to do collabs. Jeremy, you're free and open to come on my platform. Anybody?
Shout out to Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. We got to get Jeremy on too, Walt, because he been wanting to get on with us as well. Jeremy got a ton of knowledge. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Avery. Yeah, thank you for coming on, man. You always is like welcome. You like the third guy. I don't want to say the third guy, but it's like you are a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like the third member of the Locks.
Yeah,
I don't know what order it's in.
I was thinking to myself today, like, if I ever get big, I just want a whole podcast with these 3 guys. I just want me, you, and Walt, and just like we could do it, and we just do it, and y'all can have your own separate channel and everything. I just want to at least meet up every Sunday and do that. Yeah, but I was like, if we ever make it big, y'all definitely gonna be the podcast of the future, because these conversations are great, existential.
Yeah, for sure, Walt. So what we doing, Walt? We coming back? What you want to do Thursday?
Yeah.
Get into game, get into this Minnesota. I don't know if that's good for Avery, but so we can get back in. Guess it's time to game plan. You know what I'm saying? It's time
Hey,
to game plan. It's time. I'm ready, bro, because it seemed like this has got a lot of riding on this game, and it's like from just it's. I think last week was a show me game. This
mhm.
week is really because now we can show like now we can we can play football. We were playing it before, but all eyes on us. They're gonna see how we react. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see what team we are. We're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Without Aiden Hutchinson, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be a very very good to see how it unfolds. In front of us, and I'm glad to be talking about with you guys, so we can get back and you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not free Thursday because I had to book some reservations for my wife because it's our kind of like pseudo anniversary before we got married when we started dating. It was around this time, so I had to get some reservations. I started dating around Sweetest Day coming up. But my wife is a
Mine
homemaker.
this month too.
Yeah, so look, my wife is a homemaker. We started dating around this time, so she honors the dating anniversary. So she like, well, you don't forget what October. Okay, I married you in March though, of 5 years later. But no, don't forget about October. So Thursday I won't be available. I called off and everything. I got to set these reservations so I get beat up though. Like,
Well, get up Saturday morning. Get up Saturday morning with us and run some numbers then.
okay, I run
Oh,
some
that's
numbers.
that sounded real seedy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
payroll. That's
Get up
Hey,
Monday
payroll.
listen.
morning and
Money.
we got to wash some money Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause we gotta get some bet. We gotta get you in, Avery, on the betting this week. The odds. We did pretty good last week, so we, what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm down. I'm down for it because I wake up to y'all. I wake up. I check my phone and y'all right on the Facebook. So y'all right there, like, and I definitely do that on Saturday. I think y'all do it around 9.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So yeah, I
9:15.
definitely, I definitely do that.
yeah.
Well, all right. Let's get these people up out of here, man. Like I said, it was a pleasure going over all this news tonight. It was a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then to cap it off, we got the Lee McNeil news, which broke roughly 35, 40 minutes before we went on air, which is always great. I love when news break right before we go on air, man. It just makes a better podcast and better radio, better content. But all right, let's move on from this. We beat the shit out of Dallas. We lost our best defensive player. We signed our best defensive tackle to an extension. Next man up. Let's move on to these purple clowns in Minnesota. It's Vikings week. See y'all in a minute.